Alright, welcome back everyone to Warhammer 40,000 Rogue Trader, now playing, excitingly enough, on the release version. I bought a full version of the game, but the developers were kind enough to give me early access to it. I think the rest of you, if you're interested, will be getting your hands on it a little bit later today, if this goes up when intended. But here we are in the release version. As you can see, they have done a bunch of cleaning. There's been some rebalancing, new graphics added all over the place, new icons, new tooltips. It's just been cleaned up a lot compared to the early access version. So the fundamentals are the same, but there's just been some refinements to the game here and there, and we'll show off some of those as we continue. I'll apologise in advance for the recording quality. I'm still on the potato mic as I wait for a new one to arrive, and I've also managed to somehow catch COVID-19 yet again, so my voice isn't what it used to be, something that the followers of the main channel will probably realise in the recording this week as well. But here we are. One of the best ways to recover is to play a game you enjoy, so I thought we would jump in right where we left off. So, reminder, we have just found the Rogue Trader shot at her chair while her arch-militant was assassinated, so let's go inspect the body. I have respectfully looted this chamber, so I am now wearing a cape and a rosary, which gives him nice bonuses to Commerce, Law, Imperium, and this one is a Combat Fellowship buff. So I've respectfully looted the area. Let's have a look at the body. Murder scene looks like something caught. Theodora von Valanci's body is sprawled on the large, blood-drenched desk.
Emperor, accept thy faithful souls. No!
Okay, so as you can hear, Dira is a little bit broken up over her passing.
Didn't hear a thing. Not a whisper, not a breath. It was so loud.
So our diviner got jammed and didn't see this coming. So Abelard's going over to look at the corpse.
Lord Captain, who would even dare?
I will be skipping through a lot of dialogue just because otherwise this is going to be a very, very long game. But there is some good voice work here, so I will let some of it play through. Please tell me in the comments whether you want to hear all the dialogue, have the dialogue read to you, or have me continue to summarise it the way I often did in the first episode as we go through. I don't think WH40K killed her. I doubt it. WH40K wished humiliation and suffering upon Theodora, not a swift death.
It could have happened in the heat of battle. How could Mort have failed her so terribly?
Okay, so Adira can look at things in her own way. Okay, so she can touch an object, I can't remember the word for this school, but she can touch an object and get an impression from it. So let's examine the arch-militant's body. I like that we walk over to do this. Auto pistol shot went straight through Mort's forehead. The safety on the arch-militant's weapon is off. The killer must have been a split second quicker than he was. Okay, so whatever it was visible. He was reacting to it. He was just very, very slightly too slow. Cause of death is apparent. Auto pistol shot, extraordinarily accurate one at that. She was surprised. Okay. There's parchments. So let's have a look at there's papers on the desk and small. Okay, we'll have a look at the papers first. Handwritten letter, initials X and C, a seal that is vaguely familiar to you. Oh, the author of the letter addressed to Theodora von Valancia signed it with the seal of one of the Holy Orders of the Emperor's Inquisition, the secret police of the Imperium that relentlessly hunt heretics, Xenos, and other enemies of humanity. Demons. Demons is the Hereticus, Xenos, Malleus is the third order, the third of the main orders that you're talking about. There's a lot of smaller ones. Okay, so you don't mess around with the Inquisition. They have basically unlimited power, and as they say, they are basically the Imperium's secret police. Now, I'm not sure if Adira can get an impression from a person. Let's see. Okay, apparently not.
It doesn't work like that. I can try to read the memories of objects, but dead bodies are a different story. Something like that would require her soul.
Yeah, don't go searching for a, don't go... Okay, now these shards... I've read the Ravenor book, so I'm always suspicious of glass shards, but let's ask Adira about them.
I see streaks of color, luminescence, blue lights, faces, drawing and
Conrad.
Conrad. And what is that? Ah! Something dark, enormous. Oh, this glass thing was something. Tainted witchcraft.
Yeah, so I'm not going to look at the glass shards if the Psyker is saying that they are tainted. I'm not saying they're flects, something from the Ravenor novels, but we do know that it is possible for bad things to imprint on objects, specifically on glass, so I'm not going to look at that. We had been on our way.
No, wait! We must see if we can.
Idira, you can't.
You'd give up so easily, old man? I expected as much from the
Okay, so
sister.
we get the
It's not
idea
like
that
she has a
Idira was
heart.
very
But you-
well connected,
Oh,
like
no.
very
I'll get to the bottom
emotionally
of this.
connected to the Lord
I'll
Captain.
find the one responsible for murdering the Lord Captain. And when I do, that
Scum will regret the day they're born.
the day they were born.
Okay, alright, we're moving again.
New challenge for me.
I don't think there's anything else to loot, so into the next room. Alright, so let's get ourselves into the next room over. And we got another combat encounter. Ooh! With a combat servitor with a heavy bolter.
Imbue us. Spare none of them.
Okay, that's pretty hectic. We do have full initiative order advantage though. So I probably want to get Abelard in on the combat servitor pretty quickly. Idira can chain lightning a bunch of this stuff. She just might hit Abelard in the process. So maybe put Abelard over here on the cutthroat, charge and kill, take out one of those 16 HP guys with the las pistol. Let's rely on, let's go Idira here. Or do we want that angle over there? Because we can do something like this. Something like that. For getting the burst fire, concentrating on combat servitor. Yeah, I like this setup. So Abelard goes in first. He braces and endures, which makes him a bit of a tank. And then he charges in. I've noticed they've sped up the combat in terms of resolution. So there we are. Abelard KOs two guys straight off the bat. Fantastic. And then we want to get is... I think we just want to get Argenta putting bolts down range, basically as quickly as possible. We'll save our pistol shot until we know where Argenta's rounds are resolving. That looks like a lovely, like, light 'em up.
Faith without deeds is worthless.
And you can see ballistic rounds, unlike lasers, can over-penetrate and go through one target into another. So we are putting down damage. We'll do Furious Recital, which will give us some momentum. Although I don't think we have our ultimate abilities yet. But as you can see, we're way boosted up in our momentum. I think we unlock our ultimates next level. We only have small percentage chances to hit, but I'll take it.
Nothing I can't do.
I'll check whether holding a sword in my left hand, I'll check whether that affects my odds or not. Now, Argenta. We could technically put down 2 bursts with run and gun. There's going to be a lower chance to hit, but I think that's still worth it. Let's just rain the lead. Yeah, she's just bringing the pain. Let's go Revel in Slaughter into single shot. Because this will considerably increase the output. Yeah, 95% chance to hit. So I think we then can KO this cutthroat if we use Adira's turn effectively.
As the Emperor commands, I act.
Yeah, that'll put him in the kill range, so the only thing left alive will be the Servitor. Let's... Abelard's about to be... He's like target number 1. put some exploits on the combat servitor.
Will do.
And get some AoE.
Fortunate turner.
Fantastic. This thing's obviously very well armored. Oh, I can right click to see. There we go, see 80% armor. Oh, it's a melter. Okay, melter weapon. So I think what Abelard can do is endure charge.
It will be done.
Oh, I should have put Abelard on a different angle. That's okay.
Forge ahead.
I think we just push in with as much damage as we can now, basically. So we'll take a shot.
Ah! Another clean strike.
We'll hit him chainsword it again.
Problem for me.
At your beck and through here. Sure have.
Another 6.
The enemies of the Emperor will be undone.
Genta's going to have to maneuver in order to make this work. Got 30% engaging for there. That'll have to do.
Emperor.
Okay, it's on 7.
Anything else? Will do.
Get the damage multiplier up. And Psychic Stream. KO'd. Alright, clean him up, loot him, and let's level.
Humility never hurt anyone. I help others better themselves by
Las pistols, well, we don't need all of them. Grace the Oblivious. The wearer gains 5 toughness if their intelligence is less than 35. Oh, that's hilarious. Alright. I think there's only one person on our team dumb enough. Dumb enough to wear that, and that's Abelard. So that gets his toughness up to 55, because I think he's the only person with sub 35. Oh no. Argenta can also wear it, but she's not the tank. So 30, 30. Actually, just about everyone can wear it except for Perun. Man, we're not the brightest squad, are we? Okay, time to do some leveling up, I think. So we'll start with Perun. Perun gets his ultimate ability, which is, so this can only be used by charging up that momentum meter that we saw down the bottom right of the screen before. And what his does is it gives basically a target ally a full extra turn with full action points, full movement points, and they have an unlimited number of attacks within their AP limit. So normally you can only take 1 attack action a turn. With Finest Hour, you want to dump all 4 of your AP into attacks, you can. So fantastic. Then we get to choose a talent. Now I've gone through all of these, but for me, the king for first selection is Seize the Initiative. At the beginning of combat, the officer gets an extra turn, so I always go first. During that turn, I can only use officer archetype abilities, but one of the officer archetype abilities is the one that gives someone else a turn. So at the start of combat, I can yell at someone else and they can open the fight with damage or some other option. So that's easy. We will take both of those. Complete, locked in. Good old Abelard. Okay, so Abelard gets Daring Breach. Warrior immediately restores all AP and MP and gains a additional AG bonus, so that is 3 movement points until the end of the turn. They don't lose MP after performing attacks. They have no limit on the number of melee attacks per turn. So they go on a bit of he runs around and he murders a bunch of people. I'm going to open with Epicenter of Slaughter, I think. Whenever they're attacked, they get a stack of this until end of combat, and at the start of every turn, they get a temporary wound for each stack. So the more you attack them, the more they're regenerating each turn, and his limit is 5 at the moment. Eventually that will become 6. But this is basically, in practice, giving him a regen that will pretty quickly, if he's tanking, and I think Abelard's role will be to tank, giving him 5 or 6 regen per turn. I think that's good, at least at the start. We may have to respec later. I believe character respecking is a thing. If damage values get too high, that won't matter as much, but I'll take it for the moment. Adira gets Dismantling Attack, which I don't like, but, you know, it is what it is. And then there are so many things I want for Adira. So what I would like to get Adira is her doing my part. No, what is it? Stronger Together. Because she's Imperial World, and her Imperial World bonus is willpower. So if I take that, every other member of the party will get 5 bonus willpower. That would be nice. I want to get her one called Enforce Reality, which reduces veil degradation, because I don't want demons or perils of the warp or warp shittery in general. That's not about being super Puritan, it's about warp shittery being really bad for your physical and mental health. So Enforce Reality would be really, really good. I also like... there's one here that gives additional range, which would be really, really nice. But I think I'm going to open with this. Advice and Guidance. The first time in combat that an ally becomes a target of a psychic ability from Adira, they gain plus 10 weapon skill and ballistic skill until end of combat. She's going to be dropping the dodge boost on everyone, dodge parry boost on everyone anyway. This means she's also going to be boosting their damage and weapon skill output. So I'm going to open with this. Might not be the best, but I like bonuses that give you more for doing things you're going to be doing anyway. And buffing people is just one of the things Adira will be doing every turn. And then finally, Argenta. She has so much she could get. So much she could get on talents. I want Second Skin to boost her dodge because she doesn't lose things from wearing her armor anymore. She could give Stronger Together. And her characteristic is, I believe... What is her characteristic? Agility. So she could give bonus, basically she could give a bonus to dodge to everyone in the party, plus knock Abelard into the next initiative threshold, which would be really, really good. So that would be a really solid choice for her. Another option is Rapid Reload, which I also like. Reloading costs minus 2 AP to a minimum of 1, and the first reload in combat does not cost action points. So if she's going to be dumping, you know, a third to a half a magazine every turn, and we might even be able to get that higher eventually, Rapid Reload might pay back in terms of action economy. So I like Rapid Reload, and I like doing my part for the combination of dodge and initiative. I think I'm going to open, and the other option is you can also just improve characteristics. In her case, it would be ballistic skill. Just make her better at shooting things. But I think I'm going to open with Rapid Reload, and then maybe we'll change that later on. Although her ultimate ability does automatically reload the weapon. Do I want to give everyone a bonus to dodge? Modifier, agility. It's like, do you want a 5% dodge and an extra 1 on Abelard's initiative rolls, or do you want her to be able to rapidly reload her bolter? I'm actually going to open Stronger Together. It may not be optimum, but it should. There you can see, it's boosted Abelard into 4, so he should be rolling higher on initiative, and everyone else's dodge has increased. So it's damage reduction. I like it. Alright, we're leveled. Let's go. Okay, so we transit to the bridge. Which through... Wow, I didn't need to edit that. That was a fast load. Let's do a law warp check there. Okay, we don't get the bonus experience for that. That's unfortunate, even though it was an 80% chance. You can see the new artwork for all the items in the game. The generic placeholders are gone. Alright, I think we're equipped. So the bridge has seen better days. Ooh, and we have a cutscene. Do something about this. This is bad. If someone draws a spooky circle on this is just pro tip. If someone draws a spooky circle on the ground in Warhammer and then starts sacrificing people, stop them doing that immediately. Apparently Edelthrad has not been able to stop him. Edelthrad, Perun, you are here, but where is the Lord Captain? Theodora is dead. God Emperor preserve us, the Rogue Trader is dead. No matter what ritual Kunrad is performing there, the warp is too strong, I cannot withstand it, I feel my body changing every second. Oh, great. We better get away from him, Adira says, the changes are already accelerating. No, like, do something. The ship can still be steered out of the warp, but first we must restore communication. Like, focus on the job. There we go. And Edelthrad says, then we have no right to bow our heads. Do we want to shoot him before he sacrifices anyone else? Please? Someone? I'm going to just draw my weapon and yell at him. Voigtgear, you duplicitous cur. The road trader's death will be avenged. He says, what? Theodora... Okay, so he didn't know. Theodora is dead. No, that cannot be. Not now. I still haven't. And then Edelthrad stands up. His gaze is cold, haughty, and fanatical. The ritual will not be completed. I will take care of it. And you see to it that the void ship breaks free of the warp. Watch over our realm and farewell. Cool. So, heroic sacrifice from Edelthrad.
Won't be finished, heretic!
Okay, so Edelthrad's using his warp bullshittery. Conrad runs away. And Edelthrad walks into the ritual circle and bad things happen. Oh, he's a spawn now. This is a chaos spawn, and I'm guessing this is a boss fight.
Enemies to face judgment. We are truly blessed.
Fantastic. Let's go. So let's talk positioning and the Perun approach to boss fights. The Perun approach to boss fights is always remove the little dudes first so you can focus on the big bad. Abelard, you are going to tank for us, so you're going to be the most obvious thing for it to attack. Adira, you need to be somewhere that you can open with some warp lightning bullshittery. What is our turn order? Good, Adira and Argenta are both going to get turns. Ideally, Adira would be before Argenta because she'd be able to give the boost, but alas, we'll work with what we've got. So let's put Adira back. I'm not even sure covers are going to matter that much because we're just going to try and... I imagine it's a melee attacker, so I want to do something like this. So here you can see Perun gets his turn first, in which we can only use officer abilities, so we can go voice of command, and then we can get Argenta to open up. So I think we do something like we could do that, but I think we want to gun down these guys first. So let's hopefully get some shots off.
As the Emperor commands, I act.
Fantastic. 1 kill, 1 damaged. And I think we'll hit Furious Recital. Oh, we shouldn't do that. I didn't realize we were already at full momentum. That was unfortunate.
Nothing I can't do.
And You Serve Me should also give the bonus. And we can now shoot. This is our actual turn. So let's try and finish this guy off. Excellent. So 2 kills straight off the bat. Now it's Argenta's actual turn. It's going to take a turn before Abelard does, which is unfortunate. I wanted to charge it and, you know, get shit done, but that's okay. Sorry, we're back after a quick coughing break. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to burst fire this guy over here. Because as you can see, there's a chance of getting accidental hits. We're going to run and gun down here.
The enemies of the Emperor will be undone.
Fantastic. Okay. And Adira's job will be to clean these up. Amazing. So Adira is going to displace over to the right. We're going to drop the defensive buffs on Abelard because he's going to need them because his job is going to be to play tank. We'll analyze the giant spooky warp thing. And hopefully warp lightning these guys. Fantastic. Okay, so it can weaken the Veil. I guess that makes sense. And it's just prone half of our team. If I give them a turn, do they get up? Okay, I guess we'll displace left. And we don't have the range. So let's burst fire. So I think we're going to go... Well, we could go ultimate, because that would immediately reload. Did, No, I think what we're going to do is we're going to play reload. And we're going to revel in slaughter. Okay, we all get back up. Alright, Abelard, you're back in the game. Endure. Please tank more. Let's get voice of command down on Adira, because she's the viable target. And then I think what we're going to do... Let's do this. We'll give Argenta her full bonus turn. We'll let her go. She's got no attack limit. Okay. So she gets 2 full turns of absolutely wailing on it. Then we'll give her another turn, where she gets 2 points to wail on it down to whatever. So there we are. She's just fired 12 bolter rounds in a small amount of time. And then, hopefully...
Suits my purposes.
I was going to take credit for everyone else's work by getting the killing blow. We won't. Instead, what will happen is Argenta will probably... Fantastic. Alright, so I think she did like 75% of the damage of the team, but that is the point. We've leveled up again. We'll quickly loot this area. Blade Shard, Gloves of Endurance. Whenever the wearer of these gloves gets an injury or falls unconscious, their allies gain 1 bonus to damage. Each heroic act used in battle increases the wearer's dodge. Alright, well, we'll collect both of those. Anything else we can loot?
Stand in my way.
Doesn't look like it. So I'll select everyone, drop quick save, we'll level. Then we'll get the ship out of the void, I presume. I absolutely want to level Fellowship. This will take my Fellowship bonus to 6, which means half of it will be 3 for the relevant abilities. And then I need a common talent. So there's some options here. I like You Do Something. If the noble uses an ability on the servant gains +1 AP. This is really, really good. Another option would be ability advancements, just pumping Fellowship even more. So I'm going to get You Do Something. There we are, Fellowship bonus 6. And what this now means is, whenever I'm using the ability to give Adira an extra turn, I believe this will mean she has 3 AP rather than 2. Alright, we're back to Abelard. I like thick skin. I also like giving everyone a buff to their toughness, but no one's in the cutoff, so no one would get an extra bonus from that. And I don't think there's much benefit to going from 30 to 35. So let's give him thick skin for an extra +1 damage deflection, and a parry chance is increased by 25% of their armor, and eventually I want to put him in heavy armor. So if he's taking less damage... Oh, and we get characteristics. Surely we want to take toughness bonus to 6, right? Yeah, we want to take toughness bonus to 6, because that'll increase his HP even more relative to everyone else. Fantastic. Adira. Characteristics. Your characteristics are almost always going to be willpower. Some of your abilities run off perception, though. Because willpower is like the psycho stat. But she's also like our perception person. Five times perception bonus. If we take perception, it's the only perception we'll take. Just because round bonuses are so good, but really I won't be bumping up. Every other buff will be willpower. And then common talents. Enforce reality based on our experience just then. And then Argenta, ballistic skill, because shooting better is gooder. And then I think we just saw the benefit of rapid reload, because we reloaded a couple of times in that combat, and we could have been using bursts rather than singles instead, so we'll do that. Team is leveled, amazing. Drop a save, just until I know how stable the game is. And then I assume there's someone we should talk to.
It's about time.
Yeah, these people look important. By the Emperor, it's the Seneschal. So this is the Master Helmsman. He would be the one who actually pilots the ship. Not the Navigator, who navigates it through the warp, but the actual Helmsman. Living and breathing. Well, there's a tricky question. The whole place is so overgrown with foul wickedry. That's a nice word. That will be scrubbing off the vid screens for throne knows how long. I'm not going to ask him how he survived. I don't care. We need to re-establish contact with the Navigator Sanctum, because if the Navigator dies, this is all a problem. Abelard's telling people to restore the Vox channel to the Navigator Sanctum. Ready the crew, prepare for translation. Perun, you may call me superstitious, but translation. Translation is the process of taking a void ship in and out of the warp. So the way FTL works in the Warhammer universe, every sci-fi universe that uses FTL needs to come up with a way that it's possible, because physics says it's hard or impossible depending on how much energy you have. Anyway, FTL hard. The way Warhammer gets around this is by having a separate realm called the Warp, where the rules of physics don't apply in the same way, and where locations in the Warp correspond to locations in real space, but you don't move one-to-one between the two. So if you move into the Warp and travel a certain distance, you can leave the Warp a much, much further distance away in real space. That's how FTL travel is accomplished. So it can be really, really quickly. It can allow you to have a galaxy-spanning civilization, but you have to travel through the realm of chaos, and that is awful. Anyway, you are the one who speaks for House Valancius. You may not be the Lord Captain, but you more than anyone else deserve to take her place in the ritual that is about to commence. What must I do? Take the Lord's Captain's seat, order the final preparations, wait for the officer's report. Translation is a craft, not something to be explained in a tick. Just go up to the throne, Master Perun. These people are about to do the impossible. The least they deserve is the souls for seeing a figure sitting in the usual spot. I am ready, begin the ritual. Let's get out of the warp. Oh, and that means I get to sit in the big chair. Lovely. I guess it's my chair now. Ooh, more warp bullshit. Image before you is hazy. Okay, it has taken on the guise of Theodora, but the false rogue trader's eyes reveal the entity's true, surreal nature. I told you it was warp bullshit. Always be careful of warp bullshit. A voice seeps directly into your brain without ever reaching your ears, and this voice booms with all the horrors of the warp. Mortal, who are you to oppose the very flows of fate? Ooh, are you a sentient demon? It matters not, your footfalls are an echo of the sand pouring between the scales, your hopes and faith are my mockery. I have already resisted the temptations of warp once. Whatever you are, you will not cloud my mind with a new illusion. And she hisses at me. Resisting the inevitable means only that realization and submission will bring greater torment. There is no power that can hinder the flows of fate. This is very sentient. Oh, she's transformed into void gear. It, she, it, thing, demon, bullshit. The aspirant vowed to return with a trophy, a relic that could serve the Edge of Daybreak. The Edge of Daybreak, is that a demon? Okay, so Conrad promised to return with a trophy. I'm assuming the trophy was the Warrant of Trade. That fate was assured and the steps chosen, and yet you broke the unbreakable when you took the aspirant's place. What? I see you. On the day when the final dawn rises over the Iron World, I see you by my side on that day, the day of my resurrection. Okay. So Conrad was meant to do something. I screwed up. I screwed up his plan. It was a Sentient plan, and now apparently I'm meant to be the new Conrad? Okay. And the day of my resurrection, that suggests to me a demon that has been banished and wants to come into real space. Your image is woven into the tapestry of things to come. I am the will of the weaver of death. Yeah, this is so Siege. And today I will weave a new thread of elusive possibilities and fickle choices, the thread that will lead you out of the maw of irreversibility, the thread that will help you find the keys to salvation, the thread that will guide you and the weapons of our return to me. The path is set, child of the dawn, the thread is woven, follow it, servant of mine. I would say go to hell, but I'm pretty sure it's already there. Seneschal, the Navigator's sanctum is silent, the Vox signal is stable, which means... It means that the Navigator gave his life battling the storm that nearly claimed the Von Valancius flagship. We will honour his memory along with all of whom died today.
As First Officer, it is my duty to inform you with the greatest regret and indelible sorrow that Lord Captain Theodora von Valancius is dead. May her memory never fade from the annals of the dynasty.
Indeed.
By right of blood succession, and with the absence of other kin who could challenge this decision.
Well, there is another kin. They're a chaos spawn that I just splattered on the floor over there. But like, if they want to contest, they can. There's an option here to refuse. I'm going to say nothing.
It is hereby declared that the successor to Theodora von Valancius is her heir, the rightful inheritor of the warrant of trade, and the title of Rogue Trader. The official ascension ceremony will be held at a later time. In the interim, have you lost your tongues? Hail your lord. It is because of his toils that we all still live.
Well said, Abelard.
The deed is done, Master. In my apologies, I meant to say Lord Captain.
Hey, I'm Lord Captain now. Fantastic.
The treachery of the Master of Whispers was fruitless.
Okay, so we get ourselves a nice little cutscene.
Lord Captain Theodora von Valancius perished along with her heir, Edelthrad, and thousands of crew members.
Yeah, I'm guessing it was not a good time. I was in fact there.
Yet hope remained. For the second in line to the Rogue Trader dynasty survived. To hang the ancestral banners once again and exact vengeance on the enemies of House von Valancius.
Damn straight.
Humanity.
Apparently I'm also now, like, chosen of Tzeentch or something, which I'm deeply uncomfortable with, but I'm assuming I can continue to tell them to rack off. Fantastic. So do I get, like, a strategic map now? It's all very exciting. Also, you might have noticed that combat was much quicker and smoother than the beta. They've really sped it up, cleaned it up. Everything is like very familiar, but everything is slightly rebalanced, slightly redone. It's like they put a bit of polish on it before release, which is great. Absolutely fantastic. There I am in my chair. Alright. Abelard's telling me I need to hold my first new officer's briefing. Yes, absolutely. Have we succeeded in tracking down Void Gear? The answer is no. He used a warp portal, like I didn't expect. I'm not going to ask how we come to lose so many officers. I know what happened. I was there. What is on the agenda? Alright, this is like... They're just going to give us a situation report, basically. And they get to meet me. Alright, I'm ready. Summon the officers. Dozen pair of eyes bore into you. Okay, Abelard's call attention on deck. Telling my officers they've been granted the honor of meeting me. I can yawn or I can introduce... I'm going to not be a dick. Vigdis Suri Otter of the Ptolemy line, our Vox Master. So many officer positions on ships like this are hereditary. A family has all of the knowledge required to operate a certain system, and that knowledge passes down within the family, and they fill the roles. Obviously, there are exceptions. You can train new ones, especially in the Navy, but on something like a rogue trader ship like this, a family controlling a key position, or a clan controlling a key position, wouldn't be unusual, with the most capable of the clan occupying the actual functional roles. Aboard this vessel, you have command, thousands of crew, hundreds of officers. I'm responsible for receiving, processing, and sending all communication. Very good. Ravor is the Master Helmsman. Lord Captain. I'll die before I let her come to any grief. Cool. I appreciate that, Ravlor. High Factotum Janrus Danrock. He'll be our accountant. Alright. Saying he cares about my comfort is, like, appreciated, but I feel like we have greater priorities right now. Like, fix ship first, then decadence. Or fix ship, then mission, then 100 other priorities, and then decadence priority number 733. Master of Ordnance, responsible for all the artillery aboard. Infernus Master is... Okay, so Infernus Master is damage control, Master of Ordnance is Ordnance, and the Drive Master is the service of the Omnicide. He's the cogboy. Thank you, Abelard. Greetings to you all. Let's hear some reports. Damage control first. Oh, poor kid. It says tall young man. So I'm assuming that there were more senior personnel that are dead. All fires have been extinguished. That's good. Fires are bad in space. Initial report on material losses. Crew casualties have gone to the Seneschal and High Flight Totem. And yeah, Abelard just confirmed what I suspected. Post passed to him after the previous Infernus Master and his next 3 deputies expired in the line of duty. Ladder's managing well so far. He can take the heat, so to speak. Haha, it's funny because he works in damage control. Let's hear from the Mechanicus, the Drive Master, Ziratala. I could spend an episode talking about the Mechanicus. We'll do it another time. Basically, these are the tech. These are the tech guys. Okay, the warp engine is unharmed. The Engineer Prime also died. Okay, so we need a new Magos. We need a new head of the engineering team as soon as possible. I'll thank him for that. Okay, and we got a mission to do that. So that's a priority. Master Helmsman, do you have anything to report? The ship's sound, but we don't have an Engineer or a Navigator. So we'll need both of those if we're to lead the system, basically. We need an Engineer to look after the warp drive and a Navigator to know where the hell we're going. But our Vigdis is already telling us that there is a Navis Nobilite, so a Navigator station nearby, because the Navigators are noble families, because they are... Anyway, we'll get into that when we see them, because it sounds like we have to go recruit one. But... Great, we have a place to go to recruit a Navigator. Fantastic. I'm going to do that first. Because if we need to jump out of here in a hurry, we might take a risk with junior engineering personnel, but having a Navigator is a very binary thing. You have a Navigator or you don't on a ship like this, and without one we are deeply limited in what we can do. Great, okay, so he's saying we have basically unlimited in-system endurance, but we're going to need a Navigator to lead the system. Master of Ordnance, do I have weapons? Okay, he's saying, my job's simple, maintain the arsenal on fire when I'm told, but just ask anyone, we've got no able crew, no Lord Captain. Yeah, and Abelard calls him out on that. I am the Lord Captain, Master of Ordnance, you forget yourself. I apologize profusely, Lord Captain. Pardon the fool. The ship is in ruins, every other officer is dead, and the Lord Captain is no longer with us. Fear has taken hold of me. But I've heard of you, oh yes, your fame has reached even as far as the Expanse. I can't be showing myself up in front of an illustrious person such as yourself. He adjusts his uniform and stands around well straight. The Master of Ordnance can report that the rest of the arsenal has been saved and the battery is in good order. We are ready to fight, if that is the Lord Captain's will. Okay. I'm going to give him a bit of a pass on that because, like, we've been through hell and he corrected himself, and then maybe a bit overcorrected with the whole illustrious personhood, but, you know, I'll take it. I'm looking pretty dapper. High factotum. He's doing the important part. He's doing the accounting. There is only one resource I cannot replenish single-handedly, that is people. We've lost more than 2,000 crew members. So, that's less than 10% casualties. That's not horrible for what we just went through. Oh, but it also includes trained professionals. So we need to go to a nearby planet, which is controlled by the Winterscale dynasty, and get permission to recruit there to replace our losses. And Abelard warns us that the Winterscales have a penchant for attacking first and asking questions later. That's fine. To summarise, we've sustained serious losses in crew members, and we require a new engine, Prime and Navigator. Is this all that is preventing us from continuing the voyage? Precisely, Lord Captain. Okay, and then we need the ship system need to be properly inspected for major damage, which can only be carried out at Footfall. Footfall is one of the major stations and settlements in the Cronus Expanse. Makes sense that we go there. Only dockyard in the sector, unless you count. There's an asterisk on that being the only dockyard in the sector. But again, lore aside, we won't get into. We'll never reach Footfall without solving these 3 immediate problems. Right. So what can you tell me about the system that we're currently in? We're in Reichad. 3 inhabited bodies. Navis Nobilite station is maintaining Vox silence. That's problematic. Distress signal from the prison planetoid, and Reichad Minoris itself is not responding to hails. Fantastic. Thank you for your reports. Dismissed. I'm going to go get a navigator. Oh, one more thing. Confidential matter of utmost importance. This is Abelard talking. Your eternally esteemed predecessor brought the ship here for a reason. She was given a secret commission. Yeah, this will be the letter. I came across a strange handwritten letter on Theodora's desk. It was signed XC. Xavier Calcazar. Lady Theodora was to seek out the Lord Inquisitor's right-hand man, Heinrich von Kalox. An interrogator. Oh, great. We need to go talk to an interrogator. All I know is he is somewhere in this system. Well, that's helpful. We need to find him and offer him whatever assistance we can. The authorities in the system, either the Navis Nobilite or the Governor of Reichad Minoris, may know something. Okay, great. So we go and ask, hey, have you seen a member of the Inquisition? That will go well. Oh, and here are my teammates. The Psyker is suffering some sort of ailment or dark... Oh, great. She insisted on seeing the rogue trader. I judged it would be unwise to leave her unsupervised. Look, fair after a major warp incident. Even the stronger Psyker after that might be a little bit... Also, Argenta wants to talk to us privately. Adira just says daybreak. I'm going to tell her to come to the senses. I was trying to see the immediate future and it hit me hard. My head is spinning. Something very strange is heading our way. Daybreak or dawn. Yeah, this will be the Zinch demon that I just talked to. I might be wrong. Like, I'm just guessing based on its language, its mannerism. It's talking about the Skeins of Fate. It's screaming Zinch. And Zinch is the chaos god of, like, plots, change, the changer of ways. Threads of fate, that sort of crap. We cannot extract any information of value from a single word. Can you tell us anything else, Mistress Talas? Not yet. As soon as I know anything, I'll report it. Lady Theodora is well served by my whispers on many occasions, and I'm sure you'll benefit from them. I'm going to conclude this briefing there. The fact Theodora had an unsanctioned diviner on the crew, like, things you can get away with as a rogue trader, but also, like, interesting maneuver. Alright, so I'm going to run around, talk to the bridge crew, and then chop to the next mission if there is nothing interesting. But here we are. We are now in control of our ship. Although before I do, I just can't resist the temptation to boost the morale of the crew and gain 44 experience by just giving a rousing speech. Because, you know, what is fellowship for? We'll also ask Adira what the augury
All right.
is.
Let's hear what they're whispering. Seek not on firm ground, but in a golden hall suspended in the void. There waits a child without kin, but with a name blind to truth. She draws the brush across the canvas and does not notice that her palette is full not of paint, but of blood. And with each smear, this well does not deplete. Among the blind men and false prophets, a red-robed sage seeks the answer to a question. He does not know that it is not the answer he must seek, but the question that will draw everything into focus. Will you help him, Rogue Trader?
Alright, we're going to keep an eye out for a red-robed
Sometimes
sage.
ignorance is sweeter than oblivion. A chained hound chases after glimmers of the aurora, but sparks in the scent of oil confound his nose. The chain trails after him. What will happen if you pick it up? Will you become his master? The glow of dawn bursts forth from its prison. Dungeon walls cannot contain the dark essence.
Man, I'm going to have to, like, screenshot this and pick it apart.
His nose into a familiar hand, one that holds death in twisted glass. Cherish it or cast it off as a burden. The sword of change has already been raised. I'm sorry, Lord Captain. The voices are going wild. I can't make out a thing. I'll try to rein them in somehow, but for now...
We'll see what we can pick apart out of that later. I'll ask her a few more questions, and then we will continue. Alright, I was just wandering through my new quarters, my new digs, seeing if there's anything interesting here, and I did find a letter which might cast some explanation on what we just witnessed. An unfinished letter, which is basically... it looks like Theodora was writing a letter saying that Voigtgear had made a mistake, which had cost her far too much, that he'd failed at his core job, which was uncovering spies, including a senior officer, which is interesting because this means... I'm assuming Theodora got rid of that senior officer, but I'll keep an eye out. But apparently you can see at the bottom here, let his disinheritance serve as a humiliating but instructive lesson from which he may yet learn. So it looks like Theodora was about to, or had already had, I guess, disinherited Voigtgear, which might explain why he decided to go all chaosy. Anyway, I think that's everything we need. Ah, cool. This looks like something related to the publisher. That's fine. The vault, good. This looks like a storage space if we don't want to carry items with us. Fantastic. For the moment, we have enough inventory space. I'm a bit disappointed I have all these weapons on this wall and I can't take them off the wall because, you know, I would like to use them. But okay. Anyway, let's get back to business. Let's go get ourselves a navigator. So we'll jump onto the Cronus Expanse map. And I'm assuming this will be some sort of system navigation. Yep, awesome. So left click to navigate. Urak 4, the guides, that's the Navigator mission. That's the prison planet. That's the place we get a new engine seer and get new crew. And there's an unidentified void ship over here. So let's go see what that is first, then we'll go get the Navigator. I'm not seeing any time movement. Alright, what have we here? Lord Captain, very noticeable. So... okay, so there's a damaged ship. We've discovered a damaged ship, which is telling us it doesn't require assistance. The ship is also apparently crewed by idiots because they're talking to each other near the Vox relay, which means I can hear. Keep following, they'll pass us by, won't they? So we're being told that we can't determine what exactly the vessel is. They're refusing help, which, not to put too fine a point on it, hasn't yet been offered to them. Can we establish communication, let them identify themselves? Unknown vessel, we are receiving you, identify yourselves. Do not tell him, We are done for. Yeah, okay, this is dodgy as hell. This is the Thunder Fang. We are a merchant vessel. I believe you. Da-da-da-da-da. There is an option to shoot at them. We'll go away. Damage report on the vessel. Okay, multiple hull breaches. Leaking air. Somebody gave them thrashing so solid they barely managed to limp away. Thunderfang, you're badly damaged. What happened to you? Okay, so they're saying that they were just flying, minding their own business, and someone opened fire on them. Okay. Why can we not identify you? They're saying, why? I don't know. What if? Certainly not. Our vessel is badly damaged. Damage is preventing correct identification. We assure you we're a merchant vessel. Thunderfang does not require aid. This is really dodgy. Thunderfang, stop playing games and explain. And this time I highly recommend the truth. Yes, they're yelling at each other because I basically demanded to go on. We are from the Fellowship of the Void. We do not come here to loot on different business, to help our own get out of jail. Do not hurt us, please. We already had our Chronos cleaned. How about striking a deal? Our hold is full of plunder, I mean goods. Great, so they're pirates. Fellowship of the Void are disorderly assemble of dozens of pirate factions in the Chronos Expanse. They consider themselves above regular heretics, solely because they sometimes have vox conversations with those whom they are about to board. Okay, so the helmsman wants to blow them up. The factotum says he wants to hold off on destroying them because they're a major supplier of goods to the local market. Okay, so here's my thinking. We could blow them up. They're pirates. They deserve it. They're organized pirates. But, we're meant to go find an Inquisitor later on. So how about, instead of just blowing them up, we get in with them, we get some contacts, we build up some trust, and then eventually, at an appropriate time in the future, if it serves our interests, got to think like a rogue trader here, then we can just turn all of that information over to the Inquisition, and they can make a judgment on what happens next. We could play judge, jury, and executioner, blow them up, see what space combat looks like, but I think gathering some information might be valuable instead. Thunderfang, prepare for commercial exchange. So here we are, Fellowship of the Void, and I think what basically happens here is we have a resource called Profit Factor, just like in the pen and paper, although I imagine it works differently here. And this is like an abstract representation of all of your financial resources. So we can buy items from them, which I imagine will reduce profit factor, and what I'm not clear on is whether it regenerates over time. And we can also give them cargoes in order to increase our reputation. So for example, and this is what they value. So they value heretic and Xeno artifacts the most, then jewelry, ship components, armor, and melee. So were we to give them a full set of melee weapons, we would get 100 reputation, and we level up our reputation at 1500, and then we unlock all these additional items. Like, for example, this Mazoa pattern autogun, which we could then buy. Power Maul, we could buy med kits. That's 9 med kits, actually. That's a lot of med kits. Stalker gloves. Force grenades. A fencing body glove, which looks like a better body glove. That's just that's decent armor right there. Although we wouldn't be able to afford it because we only have 10 profit factor. We need 13. So I'm not going to give them anything right away. But now we know they're here. Maybe I need to give them something, just to say that we have. There we are. We'll give them 1 cargo of weapons. All right, fair enough. So we can now go back and trade with them, I guess, later on. Let's go get a navigator, though. So we've discovered our contacts with the pirates. Lord Captain reporting, the heralds of the Navis Nobility continue to maintain Vox silence. Detected an accumulation of space debris near the station docks. Ah. So someone's destroyed a bunch of shuttles. Contact them again, I'll negotiate personally, and they're not replying. Okay. Scan the station. They note wave distortions of unclear genesis that are throwing off most... This is really sus. We're able to ascertain the reactor core of the station is still active, many compartments are unpowered, and some fully depressurized. This might be a rescue mission. Biological activity largely present central module. Station has not been abandoned. Why are they ignoring us? Okay, so normally I would not barge into a navigator station without permission, but they are damaged, unresponsive, and the biological signs are concentrated in a few non-vented sections. So I can assume that they might... Look, if anyone ever sued me, I can say, look, they might not have been able to respond. It was a rescue mission. We're going to dock. Let's go in. Begin the scan. We have a station. Oh, we can pick our party members. Let's take everyone. I don't see a reason to leave anyone behind. And let us board the station. And here's a big piece of information in a loading screen of all places. Profit factor... Okay. It said profit factor isn't spent on buying items. It's a prerequisite. So if you have 10 profit factor, everything you can get from someone for less than 10 is basically free. So that changes my decision making a lot. Anyway, what's going on here?
It was not you whom I swore to serve within these walls. My lips are sealed. Confess.
Ooh.
What was the old man's last command?
House Orselio.
What are you planning?
That's ominous.
You have lost this battle.
Okay.
Permission to execute them.
So this is a navigator who is executing unarmed prisoners. Okay. He's calling them servants of the damned, but okay. In the name of House Orselio, I command you to execute the infidels. Infidels is an interesting word. What? Okay, and we're getting a wonderful welcome. As you can see, the welcoming area is well arrayed, very welcoming to visitors. Step back, or I will unleash all the horrors of the Sea of Souls upon you. Emperor, be my witness. Let's talk about navigators. Navigators are the product of ancient genetic experiments. They have a third eye, and their special ability is that they can use the power of resolve and navigate the warp. The only way for them to preserve that, and that's very important because without it, FTL travel is much more limited. You can use artificial means like computers to make short-range jumps, but you can go much farther, much further, much faster with a human navigator, or a, if you want to call them human. They're abhuman. But that makes them very influential, so they form noble houses. As you can imagine, their skills are in great demand. And when he says, I'll unleash the horrors of the Sea of Souls, they have a third eye, which they use for navigating, and if they uncover that third eye, it does very bad things to everyone in line of sight of it. Anyway, let's answer him in High Gothic. I am the rogue trader Perun von Valancius, and I am no enemy of the Navis Nobility. Okay, Orselio is saying this system has been under the protection of Winterscale Dynasty for many years. I did not expect another rogue trader in my lifetime. And since fate has brought such an important person into my abode, allow me to introduce myself. Before you stands Felic Christoph August, keeper of the station. You do not come to offer support to these traitors. This is great news. Having said that, you must understand that Urak 5 is a holy sanctum for House Celio, and the path to it is only revealed to a select few. It pains me to say that you are not on the guest list. Now, even if... I think the house I'm thinking of is Ortelis, not Orcelio. So even if the dodgy lore I'm thinking of is not relevant to these guys, this is still a pretty defensive response. I don't want to go anywhere. Given what I've just seen, I kind of want to power play a little bit. So even though I'm here to see a navigator, I'm going to say I'm looking for the Lord Inquisitor's interrogator, one Heinrich von Kalox. Do you know anything about his present location? Why? Because it signals that I'm in with the Inquisition, and you'll need to be really careful about understanding who it is you're talking to and who I know. I think I would know if such an important individual decided to pay us a visit. So now that I've given him a little bit of a back foot, I've gained sort of the initiative in the conversation I would like to think. I'm going to ask him what's happening on the station. Betrayal, the most banal thing in the life of the nobility, don't you think? I was stabbed in the back by my closest friend, Theobald Cello, the second keeper of Urak 4 and my mentor. Okay, on his instructions, my own people sabotaged the generators, blew the shuttles, and brutally massacred the loyal servants of my mistress. And he's saying they dared to take her prisoner. Greedy scum, I swear by the throne's light, their souls will perish in the darkness of the void. The madmen have captured Lady Cassia and are now torturing her upstairs while we are idly chatting down here. Help me rescue her or be gone. I can take him by force. So, not even a rogue trader would want to start beef with the Navigator house. Like, that's a bad idea. You want to be nice with the Navigator houses because you need them. I still have questions. What kind of help are you talking about? My men have reported the station is in a deplorable state. There were dozens of reports of accidents, victims, and failing systems. So he's saying there's an attempted mutiny. I'm an expert in attempted mutiny. I just went through one, mate. The only precious thing aboard the station is Lady Cassia. Everything else is futile, can be easily replenished. Because the Navigator houses are bloody rich. Why did you not respond to the messages from Rycab and Norris? We had hoped to solve the crisis on our own. When the situation spiraled out of control, we could not easily establish contact because the traders had disabled our equipment. Tell me about your mistress. I'm not allowed to discuss my mistress. She will tell you about herself personally if she feels like it. That is assuming she survives. All right. What makes you think she's still alive? Okay, so apparently she's really dangerous because he just said, you may not believe me, but she's capable of incredible things. Not even Theobald could easily harness her power. Enough questions. What kind of help? Let's figure out what's going on here. Da-da. Oh, he's wounded. My wounds are too deep to act with precision and swiftness. You may actually succeed. You will need to remake a holy relic sanctified with the blood of Lady Orcelio herself. This is the control rod. I have one part, the other was lost during the mutiny. How do I remake the control? Okay, so I need to power up the elevator and remake the control rod. Okay, so I need to get to the control room, turn on the power. And I need to go to the laboratory and remake the rod. Why don't you do it? Okay. Why should I help you? House Acelia will not be able to help you until the current crisis is resolved, but if you aid us now, I promise we will reach an agreement that you will find satisfying, be it riches, influences, or the power of our navigators. Now we're talking. I guess that makes sense. I don't trust this person as far as I can throw him, and I'm not a strength build, so I can't throw him very far at all. Like, I might not be even able to bench this dude. So what have you decided? It will be an honor to say the late Navigator. I'll help you for the good of the Imperium. I'll rescue your mistress, but in return I require that House Orcelio sign a contract with my protectorate. So be it. Alright, we've made a deal. Apparently they've already looted everyone. Very mean of them. Oh wait, no, they haven't looted this guy over here. Don't mind me. multi-key and a bunch of random relics. There's an awareness test over here. Let's take that.
The premonition runs true.
Corpses were mauled by a force far beyond any mortal capacity. Faces are twisted in pain. The hands are fused with improvised weapons. Okay, so they were armed with whatever they could get their hands on, and something really strange took them out. So let's drop a save.
I'll lay claim to the stars.
And here I'm going to cut it for the moment, because I have realized that the Navigator segment that follows is in fact long enough to be its own episode in post, so I've gone back here to put in this cut. By the time this episode goes up, either the game will be released or you'll be playing it shortly, and if so, I hope you enjoy it. And I hope you're enjoying this series. Thank you very much for joining me. It's been tremendous to see the response to reactivating the gaming channel has had, and I'd like to keep putting out content, if not this often, certainly on an ongoing basis, if only to keep myself sane over the course of December and January. Next episode, what will happen? We will vault over this obstacle here. We can use the group athletic skill, Abelard's skill, in order to go over it, giving us a 90% chance of success. I assume he just throws the rest of us over, very dignified. And we will assist totally trustworthy, not at all Geneva Convention disrespecting bloke Felix Ocelio here, who is not dodgy in the slightest, I am sure, as we go and try and find ourselves a navigator for our warship. Thank you very much. I hope you've enjoyed. Thank you for tolerating the voice and the microphone, and I'll see you all again soon.